Hello, and welcome to my presentation on our group's game, Insanity Pong. My name is Noah Schultz, and I am a member of Group 6 along with William Swift and Nicolas Ortiz. Without any further ado, let's get into it. Pong was the game that we chose as the base of our project, but why? First and foremost, the simplicity. Pong is a very simple game, and that allows for our team to effectively create a solid gameplay loop that everyone already enjoys, and use that blank canvas to create something that lets the twists and design choices really shine. Our initial twist that we chose was a 2 versus 2 cooperative multiplayer mode. 2v2 provided quite the challenge in implementation, even as simple as it was in the design phases. It easily added depth and complexity with a dash of chaotic flavor, without sacrificing any of the simplicity that makes Pong enjoyable. The simple answer behind 2v2 as our decision of twist was that more players usually meant more fun. It also doesn't add too much too soon, and we can get a solid base down while keeping that same twist. On to the challenges with this twist. Our first challenge came from an inexperience in software, as most of us have only passing knowledge of Unity to begin with. The second major hurdle is one of interaction, the controls. Cramming up to 4 people around a keyboard is something that we quickly learned through player testing would be a challenge, but it was one we would have to deal with. Readability and controlling the chaos were also of high priority, as with up to 4 paddles all moving on the screen, we hypothesized that it might become difficult to quickly read the play area and take action effectively. And of course, as soon as we started creation, bugs, time crunch, and scheduling are all part of the game design process. Further down the line, we got our second twist, a circular play area. This was an interesting second twist, but through solid brainstorming from our team, we decided on something along the lines of what you see in the picture to the right. This was our solution to making the play area still visible and readable while keeping that signature Pong simplicity. Some challenges with the second twist. The controls were still a huge issue. The controls were already an issue, but now that the paddles rotate around the center, some players got slightly confused the first few plays. So we had to make the controls much more visible in the UI before playing the game. The rotation of the paddles also shook up interaction a lot, as they added a lot of depth with no complexity, and it was the learning curve to balance them. Initially, we had kept the arena the same size, but added the circular boundaries, but after a few playtests, that was not going to work out. So what did we do? We adapted our design. Solving the problems addressed in the last slide was paramount to our success. We had to rethink how the game was structured and looked at it from an interaction perspective. This included things like zooming out the camera to fit the whole arena in a way that was easier to read. This then meant that the ball was harder to see, so we made the ball larger and gave it a trail and slight glow. Our UI also needed work, as many players could not figure out the controls initially since we had not put them anywhere on the game screen. Many lessons in readability and clarity, and through all of this, we were never able to solve the problem of the controls, as the only other method we could find would be to use external controllers, which was not only buggy, but everyone else does not have another controller lying around. Our final category was user testing. In user testing, we got a good feel for what our players were enjoying and what they were less than thrilled about. The 2v2 twist seemed to be a massive success, but as previously stated, the controls were strange and messy and something that kept evolving as the project moved on. The circular map redesign was heavily inspired by our testers, and it influenced a lot of the final look of our project. The final things were balance. The sound and feel of the ball were all heavily play-tested and influenced by our testers, and they helped to finalize the UX part of our project. This wraps up my presentation on Insanity Pong. Thank you for listening.